All right, and that's it. We are going to another segment where I will be hosting the former Minister for Sport and Youth Development, Comrade Solomon Dalung. He'll be talking a lot about his previous experiences with President Obasanjo, with President Buhari, and what he believes about President Tinubu. Inside Sources will be right back. Welcome back to Inside Sources. Today, as we continue our conversation on the future of our great country, I have with me a prominent Nigerian comrade who had served as the Minister for Sports and Youth Development and who is also a lawyer. He's now a chieftain of the opposition ADC. I'd like to welcome, for the first time, to Inside Sources, Comrade Solomon Dalung.
Dalung, it's a very long time I've not seen you. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Good to see you again.
It's a pleasure.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So it's a conversation on the future of our country. So I'd like to start by saying, if you look at where we are today, as a country, do you think we are going in the direction of that great country that many of us believe is the destiny of Nigeria?
Obviously, the answer is no. And unfortunately, we have refused even to realize that we have missed our steps. And the greatest injustice you can do to yourself is to tell yourself a lie. When you are sure that this is the truth, but obviously you chose to lie. So because we have refused to accept the fact that we've missed our steps, and we're also not willing to listen to voices of reason. And to cap it all, there is even no deliberate intention of trying to take a picture of the country from where we are coming and where we are heading to. And this Marxist theory is always apt in trying to understand the dialectic materialism, which propounded that for you to predict the future with certainty and clarity, you must be able to review history and also understand how you arrive at the current phenomenon.
Right.
So Nigeria is now diving speedily into the abyss. And we are losing almost everything that is part of our civilization.
Wow.
And so for me as a person, yes, we thank God that we have a country. And my conviction has always been that we should have a country so that we can be able to resolve our differences and then retrace our steps and get the rightful leadership to be able to move this country forward, because Nigeria is blessed with everything but highly deficient in leadership.
Okay, very, very interesting introduction. And since you quoted Karl Marx, I also like a very particular quote of Karl Marx that said that the philosophers have interpreted the world. The point is to change it.
Yes.
How do we change this direction?
The burden lies basically on those who are constitutionally saddled with the responsibility or the power as it is contained in our Constitution. Now, our Constitution says the power belongs to the people. Now, our democratic experiment had indicated that power does not belong anymore to the people, but power now belongs to those who are expected to reappear after every election cycle for validation of their mandate. How did the people lose power? People lost power through conduct of credible elections.
Through the lack of conduct.
Yes. So, because we have lack of credible elections in Nigeria, then it means the people had been dispossessed of the constitutional right of ownership of power. Now, those who now are supposed to be subject of the donation of power by the people now possess the power. And because they have possessed it, they now manipulate it effectively to dismantle checks and balance. And so the situation where we are in this country now is something more than dictatorship, but we are heading towards monarchy, where the president is the absolute ruler of Nigeria. And I will corroborate this.
Okay.
When you have elected governors, chief executive officers of subnational government going to kneel down to greet the president, that is evidence of complete surrender.
Is that publicly or privately?
Of course, when the elections of Edo State was concluded, we saw the governor-elect then with elected leaders kneeling down in the villa greeting the president. We saw the governor of Niger State, Bago, sitting down on the floor in Maka, greeting the president. So these things, as minor as they may look like, they are very, very consequential.
But Mr. Dalung, you don't think that is just happening under this administration? You don't think that's what you're saying, that it's only happening now? Because there are also claims that, that kind of behavior in terms of personal conduct has always happened at least since 1999. I have stories of people that say that when people enter President Obasanjo's office, right from the door, they are crawling to come and greet him, not necessarily governors. But do you think that this behavior of our political elite, is it new?
It is not new, but that's the beginning of the gradual erosion and takeover of the constitutional powers of the people, which now has escalated into full-blown. Because the indices now are more manifest. How? It is no more safe for you to be in the opposition. That is why governors elected under the mandate of their parties are defecting every day. By the end of this month and the middle of next month, you will have a circle of all the opposition leaders defecting to APC. So this is what I'm talking about. That's a gradual erosion.
Okay.
So, but when this ultimately will happen, then you have to also take it and look at this scale of endorsement. And those,
you mean defections?
That is defection differently.
Okay.
And then there is the
endorsement.
Endorsement.
Well, by their own party.
Yeah, not only the party now. The endorsement is even by youth organizations. Some even civil society groups have joined. We will soon have churches joining and mosques. We are going to have, and at the end, because anybody who doesn't have the lever to stand and defend the truth will definitely go and endorse the president.
Which is the point that I want us to talk about, Mr. Dalung, because I know that you are a person of courage. Why is it difficult for some of those people that are defected, especially those governors? And you have said here today that some of them even crawl before the president. What kind of people are they that even though they have powers as state governors, they seem to be really bad. They can't stand. The man that all of them are going to curtail behind now stood in his own time. He stood to his credit. We may have issues with his conduct, but we cannot deny the fact that when he was in their shoes, he stood against Obasanjo and the federal power. Why is it difficult for some of these governors that are defecting to behave the same way? I wanted to get your perspective on that, Mr. Dalung.
You know why I'm standing against the president is I took over where he was standing, because I am a student of those defiance attitudes of his. In 1993, we followed them against Abacha. We slept under the bridge. We were fighting the annulment of June 12th with them as our leaders. So I have refused to live where he left us. That's why I can afford to be saying anything to the president, because he said it to others. The question now is, why are others not doing? Their hands are not clean.
The what?
Their hands are not clean. You are a witness. You know my relationship with the late president.
Yes.
I don't spare Buhari. I looked at Buhari in the face and I would tell him anything I tell him. Why? Because my hands are clean. There is nothing you can hold on to and say, look, this is it. But even that is by the way. The basis of our relationship even with Buhari was founded on the fact that when he invited me to join him in politics, we covenanted. He said, Solomon, I know you, you have a very toxic mouth that spares nobody. I want us to covenant today that even I, Buhari, you will not spare me. And I'm not going to spare Buhari. I didn't spare him when he was alive.
He told you that?
That was even our covenant. I didn't spare him as a president. I didn't spare him when I was a member of the cabinet. When I left, I didn't spare him. In fact, the last time I met him, that I didn't see him again until he died, was one of the most, I can say, it was a very hot day for I and the president. Because I took him up on issues.
But he had left power now.
No. He was a president. I was
out of the cabinet.
Oh,
you were in or out?
Out.
You were out already. Okay.
So I went to him and I took all the campaign promises and faced him. Which of these can you tell me in truth that we have been able to achieve?
So what did he tell you?
He couldn't answer.
Interesting.
He couldn't answer.
Wow.
At the end of the day, he told me, oh, I am not aware that these issues are as deep as the way you presented it. And he appealed to me that I should always find time to come to the villa, see him, and abreast him of the situation. And that was the last time I saw him. Oh, wow. So it is difficult to face a leader and tell him the truth if you yourself is not too sure of yourself. These governors have collected a lot of monies from the withdrawal of fuel subsidy. They have nothing to show for it. They have also received a lot of revenues from the VAT, from the increase in electricity tariff, from the increase of data charges and bank charges. They've also received a lot of revenues from the floating of the naira. So most of them do not have anything to show. And so the only soft landing for them is to join the bandwagon. But the danger they have not seen is that if this election is organized the way I know that the presidential election will come first, after the presidential election, most of the governors are going to receive a shocker of their lives.
Okay, so before we come back to that, since you already mentioned your relationship with former President Buhari, can you tell us the story of how you actually met? I think it would be good for Nigerians to know, because you had worked in the prisons and, he was also in prison for some time, or house arrest, I guess. Tell us the story of your meeting. Yes.
Buhari went looking for me. I was in my village in Sabongira. Then a call came into my phone on the 25th of December when I was coming back from church. And I picked the call.
You said 25th of what year?
25th of December. That was around 2005.
Okay.
Then a call came to me and I picked the call. The man at the other end said, well, I am General Muhammadu Buhari. And I said, oh, Your Excellency.
Oh, wow.
Then we exchanged pleasantries. He wished me well as a Christian and prayed that, the country should benefit from our prayers and have peace. So I thank him.
At that time, were you, because I know that you are big...
No, then I was a lecturer in the university.
Oh, okay. You hadn't gone into politics?
No, I was a lecturer in the university. So I ignored it because I have this impression that Buhari do not like the Christians. So I ignored it. I didn't even give it a thought. The second year it happened exactly about that time.
He called you again?
Again on the 25th, when I was even returning from the church, about the same time, around 12 o'clock. So I picked the call and I answered him. I thanked him. Then I started reflecting. This man who doesn't like Christians is calling me a Christian on Christmas and greeting me. I don't understand. But still, I dismiss it. The third year,
he did the same thing. Oh, wow.
But this time, I had already gotten home and people were already in my house. So I put the phone on speaker. I listened to him. So after he finished talking to me, I thanked him very much. And I said, well, I hope that this will help this country move forward because I'm impressed by what you have done. So I switched off the phone, hung up, and then told the people that, could they guess who I was talking with? They said, Buhari. I said, no. I said it was Buhari. They said they couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I said it's Buhari. And this was the third time he was calling it. So I asked a question, could it be true that this man don't like the Christians? And nobody could answer the question.
Okay.
So that was the beginning of our relationship. Then, thereafter, he invited me to see him in Kaduna. And when I went, I met him in Kaduna. That was the first time I was meeting him face-to-face too. And then we covenanted. Because the first thing he said after exchange of pleasantries was, Solomon, I know you. By somebody with a very toxic mouth, you don't spare anybody. Don't spare me. So we covenanted, and that was the beginning of a great relationship.
Interesting.
Even though it became a bit difficult while I was in government, and even when I left government. And the difficulty was even caused by him, because he tended to portray how he loved me so much, even publicly.
Yeah.
And this earned a lot of bad blood.
And envy
for me. And even when I left office, it was difficult for me to see him. And the last time I saw him, he was very angry. Why I was being blocked to come and see him. It was very bitter. And so he called his protocol people and told them, look, from today, you don't have the right to give him an appointment. Each time he wants to see me, he should call you. I will give him an appointment. That was the last time I saw him.
Wow.
Even when he left office. I went to Daura to see him after he left office.
Were you able to see him?
I didn't see him.
Even though you went to Daura?
I went to Daura. I slept in Daura, but I couldn't see him.
What happened?
When I got to the house, they told me he had gone to the farm. But I informed them beforehand
that you were coming.
Yeah, I was coming. And I traveled to Daura and just see him.
Do you think that, because I also know that, of course, you didn't come back in the second term, 2019 to 2023. Why did you think he didn't bring you back as a cabinet minister?
Well, I will volunteer what we discussed with Jim for the first time today.
Okay.
I went and met him after the constitution of the new cabinet. I congratulated him for the new cabinet. And the first thing he told me was, please be patient. You have done your best and you have served your country selflessly. But whatever would have happened, take it as an act of God. Then I said, Mr. President, I think you will be fair to me to try to help me ventilate my curiousness. What happened?
You asking?
Yes. Could it be that you have lost confidence in me, or what actually happened? And then he told me, well, he will not be able to explain what happened, but I should take it the way he said it. It was when I left his office.
Okay.
I came out. Then the ADC, the then ADC, was the one who told me, said, look, you just have to take it the way it happened. Baba submitted your name. You were vetted. But along the line, your name was removed to balance up certain interests. So take it like that. So that was what actually happened. So to me, I knew he was fair to me. But of course, the system, which I had a running battle with them while in office, I lost the war.
I want us to move to talk about the current president, because you also had, like you said, he was your leader and all of that. But one last question. To what extent do you think the fact that Buhari couldn't achieve all the things that he wanted to and he promised, what role did you think the cabal played in the frustration of that agenda, that change agenda that many of us, including myself, supported in 2015, and which was how we got to government?
There are so many great men that serve in Buhari's government, honest, patriots, selfless leaders that today are living with pains. I'm not speaking for the vice president. I think he's one of them. And his pains could be that we were unable to realize the change we campaigned for in 2015. That's my worry. Now, the cabal took over this government of Buhari not too long after Buhari was even declared a winner.
Yeah. They
took over the government immediately.
Very true.
There are stories of what happened, and it's not for the public space. But Buhari was somebody who, by virtue of his orientation, was an institutional person. He lost his father at the age of 7. He went to a boarding primary school.
Right.
From a boarding primary school, he went to a boarding secondary school. From a boarding secondary school, he went into the army. All these ones are institutions that restrict him from easy access to social life. So Buhari was that type of person. So he didn't have so many people he fraternized with, whether from the community he grew up, except maybe classmates and colleagues in the army.
And family relatives.
Yes. And then in the army, he was also such a person with a charisma that not so many people came close to him. So he had not so many friends. So this was his greatest undoing of becoming a president. Because for you to be a president of this country, you need a network of friends, relations, associates across the country to be able to mobilize to form a government. Now, those who were very close to Buhari knew him more than anybody. They knew his weaknesses. And they have been with him for a very long time. So they capitalized on this to take over the government. And I will prove this point. The last Federal Executive Council we had, we was a valedictory session.
In 2019.
2019. After the valedictory session, I went to use the restroom and I came out. So the aides of the president, those who constitute the real cabal, element cabal.
Okay.
Because you know this cabal thing is operating outside. It uses elements
inside.
And they don't go for any high position, no. The cabal is interested in the position of SA to the president, PA to any position that is very close to the president to pick and tap information and relate to them to process and be able to know how they can manipulate things.
Wow.
So all these boys who constitute the machinery of the cabal in the villa, I came out and I heard them saying, that was when the president has been elected.
Right.
And they said, well, we have been with Buhari for a very long time. So all these people jumping around him, we will prove to them that we know Buhari more than them. Most of these people will not come back again.
Wow.
I had this, that I was told, by them seated. And when they saw me,
they cringed.
Yes.
Interesting. You know, it's so much to talk about. But I want us to now pivot as we conclude to President Tinubu. What's your relationship with him? You said that he was your leader in 1993 and all of that. You know, do you think that President Tinubu has a responsibility to finish the work that Buhari promised and couldn't deliver completely?
Well, he started on a wrong footing. President Tinubu has allowed people around him to present their own agenda instead of his own.
Is it the same problem that Buhari had?
Yes. Tinubu is not pursuing his own agenda now because the people around him had done exactly what they did to Buhari, and it is the agenda he is pursuing. The Tinubu I know appoints credible people and brings them from anywhere. As a governor of Lagos, he brought people from different states to be commissioners in Lagos. That was the Tinubu I know. The Tinubu I know has a listening ear. The Tinubu I know can go out of his way to reach out to people, even those whom he believes do not like him. He will reach out to them. That was the Tinubu I know. But this very Tinubu as a president is a carbon copy of what is happening to Buhari, if not worse.
Wow.
Because people around the president now has transferred their enmity to the president and handed it over to him as a jacket. So those the president ordinarily would have reached out to tap from their experiences and move this country forward, he's seeing them as his enemies. Tinubu succeeded in Lagos because he was a leader who was ready to assess anything that will help him succeed. But as it is now, he has been surrounded by people who paint a picture of hostility around him, making it look like he doesn't even have anybody that love him or like him as a leader. So you have him reacting. So the government is only reacting. What prevents this government from reaching out to some of the great brains who work with Buhari to tap from their experiences?
True.
Those people who work in government, they don't work for Buhari.
And it's the same party.
It's the same party. So if Tinubu has problem with Buhari, does he have problem with those who serve the government?
Do you think he has problem with Buhari?
Of course, if he doesn't have problem with Buhari, why did he have to treat Buhari the way he treated him?
He gave him a good burial.
Okay. That is the wish of everybody is to give his enemy a good burial. Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Buhari told me in confidence, Tinubu nominated the vice president. Tinubu nominated some ministers. Tinubu nominated some advisors and even some heads of government agencies.
Right.
That was a partnership of the agreement they had. Can the president tell me now one person from Buhari's camp that is in his government? If he can point out one person to me whom Buhari brought, I will apologize to him publicly, and I'm going to follow whatever he's going to do.
But could it be because Buhari didn't want to nominate? Or do you think he was prevented from nominating?
No. The partnership requires that once you become a candidate, just like Buhari did, give me vice president when he won the government, give me this, give me that. That never happened.
Interesting.
That never happened.
Interesting.
I met with one of the closest person we have with Buhari, and I asked him, how did the vice president came about his, how did the president came about his vice president? And he said,
that is President Tinubu.
Yes, that he was together with President Tinubu in London to discuss this issue. Yeah. And Tinubu left him there. The next thing he saw Tinubu in Buhari's house, presenting his vice. And when he called Buhari, Buhari said, well, I'm just seeing them. So he didn't treat Buhari fairly. But let me thank him for giving him a befitting burial. But he didn't treat him fairly when he was alive.
Interesting. Very, very interesting perspective. Last question. You have worked in the correctional system. You worked in the prison for quite a lot of time. You then became a lawyer, did some work before you went to become a lecturer. This issue of presidential pardon that has been going on, some of those names that turned to become a very big controversy, now the president has changed and removed some of them. What's your own take about those pardons?
Well, for the president to listen to our criticism of the presidential pardon, and revisited the list, I think it's a good omen. But he has not done enough to that list. Because you don't weaponize criminality. There are people who committed crimes that people are very, very bitter. And so you need to allow long time of keeping them away from the society for the wounds to heal. I read a comment from one of the family members when the issue of Mariam Sanda came up and said, it has been reviewed to 12 years imprisonment. By prison calendar, she has less than 16 months to live.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because a year, 8 months in prison means a year. So if you compute 12 years now, she has about 1 year, 6 months to leave the prison.
Because I think she's done only 6 years so far. So that means she still has another 6 years.
No. If she has done 6 years, those 6 years...
Oh, I see what you mean. They will count for probably like 9.
Prison calendar.
Okay.
So it is even not enough to reduce it to 5 years, to 12 years. The wounds have not been healed in the minds of a lot of people. So the president needs to take a decision that will heal the wounds and not to escalate it. But I think whosoever prepared those lists for the president did not help the presidency. Because, drug dealers, notorious criminals, kidnappers, and husband killers. Were these the best people that deserved favor? No. I think there are Nigerians who have been convicted 10 years imprisonment for stealing yam, and some of them for abusing police or for abusing the emir, and there are some of them that have been in prison for. There are some people that have not been tried for 10 years. They are still in prison.
Awaiting trial.
Awaiting trial. These are the people the president would have extended his magnanimity, not to go and weaponize criminals. What will happen to NDLA?
Thank you so much for coming to Inside Sources. Thank you for your voice. Thank you for the courage in your voice. Thank you for your service, and thank you for coming to Inside Sources.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I prayed for this country to be a great country, and I wish Nigeria well.